So good afternoon, everybody. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yes,
Yeah.
good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. Yes, it's clear.
Okay, so let us start. There was a little portion was remaining, that is one slide, and you had some questions regarding the corrosion. So the design, as we have seen, the design is very important for eliminate or reduce the corrosion. So we stopped here last class. So in that case, so that we have seen that the modern passenger ships, we use the at higher level decks, which is made of aluminum. So we join together. So we make a insulating barrier, insulating ferrule, so that the corrosion cell does not occur, as well as there should not be any crevice to have the moisture or the rainwater to get accumulated. And some where we in the face we put the neoprene, that is also insulating barrier, as well as semi inert filler we give. This is a semi inert filler, is it is like inert material, so that it does not react. So the last slide in this chapter, this is the stainless steel is we use as a passive mode. So the passive mode means the reduction potential is high and it is less active, and so that it is immune to the electrochemical corrosion. And sacrificial anode security has to be checked. What is the security? Security means we have seen the sacrificial anode we weld on the surface of the hull. So there, suppose one side, this is for an example, this is the anode, and this side is uprooted. It was welded here, but now this side is welded, this side is not welded. Then what will happen? We have calculated that how much current electron will flow through this. Now the less electron will flow because this is uprooted to the hull, so that it will be protection will reduce. So that is the reason this security should be checked, that it is welded, so that electrically it is connected. So, and in the tanks also it can happen. Tanks, one thing is, now tell me, hull, we have seen that it is attached to the hull. In the tank, where it is attached to? You think that where it should be attached to in the tank? So you have a tank, for an example, this is the tank, and we have a DV tank or the side tanks, and then we have the internals. So for an example, these are the longitudinals, these are the longitudinals. So where do you think it should be fitted? So we have the shell, side shell, where we don't put, or this side, where do we put? On the longitudinals we put, so that, or the transverse we put, so that it does not affect the other side. Other side is water, paint can damage. If you want to replace it, because the tank anodes you can replace during the selling, so we can put it here. So on the longitudinals you should weld, so that the paint is not damaged for the side shell or this side or bottom shell, and we can replace during the, it means in floated condition we can replace it. And paint work, it has to be like the inert shield. Also for ICCP, we need to check that if there is any blister. It used to happen when this ICCP came new to our industry. That time they also did not realize that this can happen. What we have seen, that hydroxyl and alkaline, that area can get blister, it can have, and the paint can get damaged, and that area can get corrosion. After that, they came up with that special paint requirement. So that paint area has to be also checked for any damage or deformation, because the corrosion will start otherwise in that area. Now, there are questions on certain things. Like one of the question actually you had, you had that brazing in the last chapter, brazing in the soldering. Soldering, when you do, that time we actually don't melt the base metal. So it is a bonding. That's why it makes a bonding between the soldering material, which is melted, and then which is put on the both surface, which one we want to connect to metal, and then it makes a bonding. Whereas for the brazing, we melt the base metal, it becomes fission. So that is the major difference between the soldering and the brazing. Now, another thing you tell me, this this is ICCP. So ICCP, last class you asked me that in details, little details you want to know. But was it covered in your this chapter? I mean, function 2, that is the electrical, because it is a part of, it is there actually, but it's irrespective of that. Let me explain to you. So here we have seen we have a this is the reference anode electrode, and this is the anode. And now this is the control system, and this control system, this reference electrode is measuring the potential of the hull, and this is connected to here, and then this is connected to here. Now this should be insulated. It means it should not be connected to the hull here. So there will be an insulation barrier between the sensor and this, so that the potential can be checked, the hull potential. Once the hull potential is checked, we know how much actually potential we give. That is the, we keep around, the potential to the hull is around minus 0.8 volt, for an example, or 0.85 volt. So this is sense what is the volt. Accordingly, we make this more than that. So that it means this one, this is the anode through which the current will come out, impressed current. And there should be insulation here also. So that there is this current flow has to be through the electrolyte. So if we see from where this concept we have taken, from here we have taken the concept. This is a corrosion cell, electrochemical. So here zinc is getting corroded, zinc ion is coming out, and then electron, it is leaving electron, and that electron is flowing, this dotted arrow, if you see, that is coming to the cathode. And what is the current flow? Current flow will be in opposite direction. This is the current flow. So it will come to this in external circuit, and in the electrode, it will, I mean the electrolyte, it will come in this direction, because it will come to this direction, and this will be neutralized. So this way it will be, correction will be, means the current will flow in the electrolyte in this direction. Then this is anode, this is cathode. Now we want to make our hull cathode. It means we'll have to, for an example, this iron, it means it is made of iron, that is the anode. If you don't do anything, if you don't protect, it means in that case what will happen, the current will flow outward direction. Like here the anode is zinc, that's why it is outward direction going to the cathode. So what we'll have to do, for an example, if we want to make this cathode, then what we'll have to do, if we can reverse the current in this direction in the electrolyte, we can make it a cathode. So the reaction will take place on this surface, because current now it is flowing in opposite direction. We have taken this concept for the impressed current system. So in this case, what will happen? So this is the hull we want to protect. So this hull, the direction of the current should be from the anode to the cathode. So that's why this arrow, what we've seen, that is the current is flowing from the anode, which is we have this ICCP anode, and which is giving the current to the direction of current will be from anode to the hull. So the hull will be protected, and through which this current is flowing through the electrolyte. So this is the electrolyte, because this is submerged in our seawater. So the current flow direction should be like this. And why you need insulation here? there should not be any connection between electrically connected this anode to the hull or reference anode to the hull. Otherwise, what will happen? It will short circuit. The current will not flow through the electrolyte. So that's why this has to be insulated always. And the current direction is this. And if you see this area has to be that paint, the special paint we have this from here to here. The area will depend on your maker. They will tell how much area to be, the epoxy paint should be there so that there is no alkaline damage to your paint. If paint is damaged, your hull will get corrosion will start. So this is the direction of flow of the current. And here you have a measured value. This measured value, we have a value which is to be maintained. So difference of it, once it is compared, then this controller is controlling this current. So this current will be accordingly to maintain the potential difference so that the current will flow from the anode to the hull through the electrolyte. So this is the simple circuit you have for the ICCP, and that is the basic principle. Now certain things, how this area, this construction of this area, arrangement of this area, you need to know. And plus how many you can have here in this diagram, but it can vary from ship to ship. But in this diagram, if you see, this is an anode, this is anode, this is the reference cell, and we can put another reference cell here. There is an cofferdam here. This is the cofferdam. So inside that you have the anode reference, and the aft side you have this. We have this anode, another anode, and we have the reference cell here. So it covers the complete ship. So through the anode, the current will flow outward direction to the hull. So the hull is protected. And this is the measuring, it is the sensor, simple control system. You just think there is a sensor which is sensing the potential. Accordingly, it is compared with it is giving to the controller. Controller is compared with the set value, and according to that, how much current has to be applied, impressed current through the anode, it's going to the hull. So forward part, it will be through this, and through this. And this reference anode is measuring forward part, and this is measuring the aft part. This is the way it is done. And this anode also has got a capacity. That is, if you see here, it is 225 amps, it is written. So this, it means that much is the capacity. It has been calculated how much will be the maximum amps to be applied. It is higher than that, it is kept so that the anode should not get damaged, because we don't want to get damaged, because we are actually impressed current is supply, and external current you are from the ship, we are applying this current. So this anode will be, anode life should be longer. That's why it's a noble material is used for anode. So this is the basic arrangement and the principle. It's all ICCP same principle it maintains, because this concept has come from there, the corrosion cell, what I had shown you. And then this is the arrangement for the anode. This is the anode. This is the sealed compartment. And then this is the hull. And there is a neoprene material, which is the insulating material. And then it is blocked here. And inside, if you see, this is the Teflon packing you have. And after that, you have the nut, so that you can tighten this nut, and this is like a gland. And this is an insulating barrier. So after that, you have the gland. This is the gland, and this is SEMKit. This is the filling. They do it, the service engineer, they fill it here, and then the electrical connection from here, which is, if this is, suppose it is the anode, then the current will come through this, and then it will give the current to the outward direction to the hull. So this is the arrangement of your ICCP anode. and it should be in a coffertum. And another thing is there, which is not in the syllabus, but that is also important to you. It is like I'll actually incorporate once I review and we print it. The MGPS. MGPS also you need to know. So what is the MGPS? MGPS is Marine Growth Prevention System. So this is used for the seawater piping system. Why we use? So that when we are taking the seawater from the sea, there can be marine growth which can enter, and then that they can multiply. Yeah, Melissa, tell me. Melissa.
Yes, Chief.
Yeah.
I have one question on this ICCP before you
tell me.
go to this marine growth.
Yeah.
On this ICCP system, when we go to this freshwater area, we switch off the system. That means the electrolyte is weak.
Yeah. So
what will happen if we leave it like this? Is there any damage to the system, or what will be the consequence? Thank you.
So sometime we switch it off because of the electrolyte. Actually, this is made, this design is made depending on the electrolyte. As I told you, this electrolyte changes. There is one of the factor how much actually corrosion will be there, rate of corrosion, and all the calculation will change. What we do, since the seawater is more corrosive, so we design as per the seawater. Once we design as per the seawater, we run it in seawater. If we want to run it in freshwater, then the design criteria will change. It means in that case, what will happen? This, like the potential difference, it can change, all the values will change. That's the reason if it is not compatible with both. In that case, we switch it off in fresh water. Because if the current is more current, then also will problem. And then if it is less current, then also will be a problem. Then polarization can change. This we have made anode. This is cathode. In fresh water, the polarization can change. It means this can become anode, this can become cathode. Because it is designed for seawater, electrolyte is considered as seawater. Because all this series, if you see, and the calculation potential, that E is the reduction potential, all its, the series is given for a particular electrolyte. So for an example, seawater, galvanic series, it will be written, what is the electrolyte? Now, if the electrolyte is changing, your design will not work. Then it can lead to a situation where the polarization changes. It means we have made this is anode and this is cathode. This can become cathode, this can become anode. There is situation where the polarization can change. In that case, what will happen? It will be adverse effect. It means the cathode now become anode, so it will get corroded. So that's why even the electrochemical series, it will be given what is the electrolyte. So our design is, if that your ship's design is not compatible for both electrolyte, then you'll have to, for fresh water, we switch it off because it is always designed for single electrolyte, always it will be designed for your seawater. That is the reason we switch it off. Is it, yeah, Safwan, Melissa, is it clear to you?
Yes, Jeff, it's clear for me. Thank you. Please, can I add one more question?
Yeah.
Thank you. This for the tank protection, for the ballast tank.
Yeah.
The whole system, which is ICCP, is protecting the hull.
Yeah.
So this tank is also part of the hull. Why we need this separate protection?
Yeah, tank, what we are doing for ICCP, the outside hull, surface we are protecting. Tank, inside surface we are protecting. These two are different because electrolyte it is submerged in electrolyte outside because it is floating. But inside the tank, there is no electrolyte. Suppose you keep it, this effect, this current is not flowing inside the tank if you suppose take ballast. This current is not flowing through the ballast water which you have taken in the tank, which will be protecting inner surface. Suppose this is the inner surface and this is the water you have taken. Inner surface is not protected because this surface is protected. It will have two surfaces, inner and outer. ICCP is protecting outer surface, but inner surface also there should be a flow of electron from the anode to in this direction, which is not there. So we use the ICCP for the tank. We don't use because it can be a fire hazard. So we use the sacrificial anode because this surface is not protected. Outside surface is protected, and your corrosion can take place this surface as well as this surface. Is it clear, Melissa?
Yes, thank you, Chief. It's clear.
Yes, Sophonius, you wanted to ask something.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Mine is not exactly a question. I just want to confirm what I understand.
Yeah.
This ICCP means it's more or less like sacrificial anode, but without anode. I mean, with fake anode. I mean, we are creating a current flow so that the circuit will be complete without really having an anode. Yes.
Let us see the differences. Here, I had shown you this diagram from where we took the concept of the ICCP. Current is flowing through the electrolyte in this direction, anode to cathode. What we have done, we have applied a current which is opposite reverse direction towards the anode, and anode will become the cathode and it will be protected. Now, what sacrificial, this is not sacrificial anode. Sacrificial anode, what is the concept? In sacrificial anode, the concept is like this. This is the anode which is giving the zinc ion is coming out and leaving the electron behind in the metal, and that electron is flowing to the cathode. That's why if you see the sacrificial anode, it is welded here, electrically connected here. That is not through your electrolyte. This is our hull. It is connected, welded here and here. What is happening? Zn++ is coming out. And because of that, what is happening? 2 electron is leaving in this metal. That is going in this direction to the metal which we want to protect it. So this is 2 electron. From here, because it has to neutralize, so it goes to the hull. And that gives you a cathodic reaction. We have seen the cathodic reaction, O2 plus 2H2O plus 4E is equal to 4 hydroxyl ion. So that is the concept for your, it means we have made a galvanized corrosion cell for the sacrificial anode. And this metal we have selected from the galvanic series, which is less reduction potential, so that it gets corroded, it become anode and it become cathode. So this is it is suppose like just now we have seen, if it is not security is not there, it means it is broken here. Then the electron flow will reduce. This is the concept we have taken for the sacrificial anode. The electron is flowing from the anode to the cathode. Whereas ICCP, this is the concept. The current should flow to the metal which we want to protect in that direction. So we are supplying the current to that direction to make it cathode. Because through the electrolyte, current is flowing from anode to the cathode. Is it clear, Sophonis?
Yeah, yes, Jeff. One another question.
Yeah.
So if we don't have sacrificial anode or ICCP protection for the ship,
Yeah.
Which part will be the cathode?
Which
The
part
earth
will be the cathode?
Cathode. The hull will be anode, so
Yeah.
which will be the?
In that case, water. This is the hull. Okay. So Fe will come out. That is anode, because the metal, it is losing electron. It is giving the electron. Then that electron, this is the water, seawater. It is submerged in seawater. That electron will come out in the water. This 2E, that will have the reaction same. O2 plus H2O plus electron, you will be having the hydroxyl. So in that case, the reduction reaction, it means once it is coming out from the same surface at some distance, suppose this is the corrosion, Fe has come out from here. So it is left electron that will move through this same metal. It will come to the surface here because it is submerged in water, and this reaction, reduction reaction, will take place here. So in that case, the cathode will be somewhere where the electron, means the metal iron, has not come. That surface will become, the cathodic reaction will take place on that surface. So electron will flow like this. So some part will be the anode and some part will be the cathode. Now, suppose for an example, there is bare metal. You will be see that is one of the corrosion we have, we call it uniform corrosion. In that case, what will happen? All means the Fe will come out and electron will come out, which will be having with the seawater, will be having the anodic, the cathodic reaction, that is E plus O2 plus H2O. It will become hydroxyl. So it will come out, this electron will come out to your water. That is electrolyte. And you'll be having a reaction which will produce you see, this reaction is happening whether you are protecting, suppose Fe is protected. On the surface of the Fe, this reaction will happen. So from the same metal, it will come out with the water. It is happening, dissolve oxygen, water, and the electron. And that is coming, electron is coming from this, the metal. Suppose it is same metal. This is metal, Fe is coming out from here. Then what will happen? Electron will move like this and coming out from here, and this reaction will take place here. So there will be some place, it will be cathodic reaction will take place, and this it will get corroded. It can be uniform also. In that case, what will happen? All the places electron will come out and metal also will come out, and the electron will react with your water, and it will become hydroxyl, and finally it will become ferrous oxide. That is the rust. Is it clear, Sophonis?
Yes, Jeff. Thank you.
So I think Ateika wanted to say something. That's found.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah. Tell me.
So, sir, when we are injecting current to the hull,
Yeah.
what we are really doing? I mean that we're covering the hull metal from the seawater by electric field, or we are making the steel, the metal, non-reactive?
No. Underwater portion, we have an anode, we have a cathode. Okay. In this case, this is the this is the cathode, and this is the anode. And we have the electrolyte. Underwater portion, we have steel hull. We have the electrolyte is the seawater, and we have one anode. Okay, the impressed ICCP anode. Now, what happens in the electrolyte if you have two metal? One is cathode, one is anode. This electric is flowing in a direction, particular direction in the electrolyte, that is from the anode to cathode. It means cathode is protected, we know. Current is flowing from anode to cathode. So if we want to protect the material, if in the electrode, in the electrolyte, if it is submerged in the electrolyte, and if we can make a current in this direction, like for an example, this is zinc, it is shown, but it is the ICCP anode, you think. And then this is the Fe which we are protecting. Both are in electrolyte, submerged in electrolyte. Now, if the current is flowing in this direction, this will become anode and it will get wasted. But if we can make current flowing from this direction to this direction, this Fe we can protect. That's what we are doing in ICCP. ICCP, we have an anode. Hull is Fe. Hull, now if you see, what is the material for ICCP anode? If you see the electrochemical series or the galvanic series, that is actually more reduction potential than the iron. Iron should get corroded. But what we are doing, we are considering this the direction of flow of current. What we have done, though it is platinum, but we have applied impressed current which will come out from the platinum and then which will go to the iron, gypsum. So the direction of current we have changed. Though this is not zinc, we are using platinum, or some other also we use, but platinum, modern vessel, we use platinum. So actually in this condition, if you don't do impressed current, if you don't apply, what will happen? Current will flow in this direction and Fe will get corroded. What we have done, we have applied the impressed current, and that current direction, we have changed it to this direction. So that the Fe, that is the hull, has become cathode. And this is the anode because the current direction is now from this to this. But if you don't use the impressed current, what will happen? Current will from here to here, it will move because the platinum is less active, noble metal compared to the Fe. So that's what we are doing. We are not making the steel or something. Only we are direction of current, we are reversing. In normal condition, direction of current will be in this direction because this is more active than this. But what we have done, we have applied an impressed current. The direction of current we have made this way through the electrolyte. So what had happened? This has become anode. This is, we call it auxiliary anode. And this is cathode, which is protected. Is it clear, Teka?
Sir, it's a little bit clear. A little bit confused because I was thinking that, for example, if there is no any current supply for the ICCP system,
Yeah.
the metal with the seawater, from the seawater, can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, I can hear you. Tell me.
Hello, sir. Sir,
Tell
can
me.
you hear me?
Yeah.
So
Teka, tell me.
the rust or the corrosion means iron. In my understanding, it's iron oxide. So from the iron, the electron flows to the water, so it will react with the oxygen. But if we can supply electron to the seawater, so the electron will not take from the iron, but the electron will react with the oxygen. So the oxygen will not make reaction with the iron. But now in the previous diagram, as you show, the current is just flowing
Yeah.
to the metal, to the hull again. So that's why, that's what makes me a little bit confused.
Let us see this again. This is zinc, okay? This is anode because it is more active. This is cathode. Electron flow and the current flow, let us check. This dotted line is the electron flow. And this line is the current flow. Zinc ion is coming out, electron is leaving in the metal, electron is moving this direction and coming to the cathode. Okay, but current will flow in opposite direction to the electron. Current is flowing this way. This is the external circuit. And this current will come here and then it will move to this direction because circuit has to be completed. This is the current flow, what I have just drawn. So what is the current flow in the electrolyte from anode to cathode? What is the current flow in external from cathode to anode? What is the electron flow? Electron flow is opposite direction. So anode to cathode, we have seen the metal ion is coming out, electron is leaving, and that it is coming here. And that electron is actually coming out here, which will making a cathodic reaction. And then this full reaction we have seen, that is the oxide is formed. What concept ICCP has taken in the, because it is in the electrolyte, it is submerged into the seawater. If we can make a current flow from the anode, means from the anode, which is auxiliary anode, from that anode towards the metal which has to be protected. So here we have seen this is zinc, this is anode. The current is flowing through this, in this direction. Same, it means an ref is protected. Now if we can have an impressed current, the external current we apply, and which can move from the metal, one metal to our metal which we want to protect. So then this will become cathodically protected. That's what the ICCP is doing. Teka, have you understood the electron flow and the current flow? This is the current flow. And electron flow will be the opposite direction. Here you can see it is from this direction. It means electron is coming out in this direction or not?
Yes.
So
okay, sir,
we take this concept current, so that the when it is submerged into the electrolyte, through the electrolyte, current should be towards the metal which you want to protect. Then it will become cathode. Clear? Understood?
Yes, sir. Yes. Thank you.
So, any other question? Otherwise, I think Sophonius raised hand. What was your question, Sophonius?
Okay, thank you, Chief. So when we use this platinum,
yeah,
so nothing will happen to the platinum due to this current flow?
Yes, that is the reason we use the noble metal. We don't want it to be worn out. So it is very noble metal we use. It has got a life, but it will be long life. Understood?
Okay.
So that is the reason it is very means the very strong material we do use, which is a noble metal. Otherwise, if you use a lower grade, it will get wasted because so high current is passing through that, and it will get wasted. You'll have to change it. Now the marine growth prevention system. So what is the marine growth prevention system? It protects our seawater piping system, and it protects our pumps, seawater pumps, any seawater flowing through any equipment, that also is protected. What is marine growth? These are the aquatic life which enters through with the seawater, and then it can multiply. And plus, it can stick onto the surface of the pipe. And the heat exchanger filter can get choked because it will grow. Many of you might have seen the shell. Sometime if your MGPS is not working properly, you will see that the filter is choked completely with the shell. So we don't want that. The primary purpose of it is to prevent the marine growth. So it has got a 2 electrode for an example. In this example, what I had given, that copper and aluminum 2 electrodes is used, and both are anode. So what will happen? Copper is we use the impressed current here. So once we use the impressed current, then what will happen? This is the anode we want to dissolve. Whereas you have seen impressed current system for the hull, platinum we don't want to dissolve because we want to keep the life mode. But here intentionally, it means it has to dissolve. Copper and aluminum should dissolve. Once it dissolves, that protect our system. So for the copper, what will happen? Exactly the same reaction. It is an anode. Copper plus plus will come out, and 2 electron. It means then copper will come out, and if you see the copper reaction, it will be copper 2 plus 2 electron will be removed. It will be separated. And after that, this 2 electron will react with H2O, and it will become hydrogen gas and hydroxide. So what it does actually, after this is normal reduction reaction, this is cathodic reaction, this is anodic reaction. Exactly what you have seen, it is same. And this copper, it goes to the system, and once it's produced, the copper ion that transported with the seawater carry that. And this prevents this ion prevents the marine growth. It does not allow a marine that which is actually, it came with the seawater, it gets killed. It does not actually, stay in the system, as well as once it is coming out, it comes out with that. It means it will not stick on the surface of the metal also because of this copper ion. And another is aluminum ion. So what it does actually, aluminum ion, it is supplementary to this copper, and it is slow dissolve. It means your copper will be faster dissolved than the aluminum. But what the aluminum does, aluminum we know it is an anti-corrosive metal, it's a corrosion resistance metal. So what is the reaction is taking place here? If you see, this anodic reaction is same. Metal has come out and electron, it has donated electron, and the metal ion has come out. After that, what will happen? This electron will react with H2O because it is carrying with the seawater, and then we will be having hydrogen and hydroxide. And this hydroxide will react with aluminum ion, and it will become aluminum hydroxide. So this will make a layer on the surface. That layer will give a protection to the corrosion, because this aluminum hydroxide will provide a layer on the surface of the seawater system. Even your pump casing, it will be protected. So this is the way marine growth prevention system protect from marine growth, as well as it gives you a protection to the corrosion. Both it will be. So aluminum, it gives the protection to the aluminum is giving you the protection to the. Is it clear now? My voice? Can you hear me or not? So one of you just reply. Can you hear me?
Sir, your sound is broken.
Hello. Yeah. Is it okay now? Still broken?
No, it's not okay, sir.
Okay, so let's continue. This copper we have seen what is the reaction, then aluminum, we have seen what is the reaction, and aluminum gives us a coating, anti-corrosive layer it gives on the surface of the seawater cooling system, including the pump surface also. Inner surface, it will protect you from the corrosion. So that is the MGPS system. And this MGPS, we apply IC, means the impressed current. Once we apply the impressed current, then what will happen? Current is coming out from your anode. Once it is coming out from the anode, why we use the current, we can control how much ion will be coming out.
Hear you.
Again, it is a problem. So, hello, can you hear me now? Can you hear me? All of you is having problem or some of you? So, can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Hello? Is it clear now?
Your sound is still broken.
Is it clear or still have problem?
No, Chief, your sound is broken.
Okay, let me check.
Chief, I can't.
So now tell me, is it clear? Is it clear now? Hello? Yeah, is it clear now?
Yes, now it's clear.
Yes, yes, Chief. Now it's better.
Okay, so let us,
It looks like okay.
let us restart. So this is the system we have. We use the impressed current here. We have the, for an example, this is the 2C chest is shown. You have the crossover, and then it is, you have the anode on the port and starboard side, two anode, aluminum and copper. And when you apply the current, what will happen? How much current you apply, it will depend, because anode in the electrolyte, the current is coming out from the anode. And if more current is coming out, what does it mean? More metal is wasted, dissolved in the electrode. So we can control how much quantity of metal we want to dissolve in the seawater when it is flowing. So we know how much is the capacity of our system. Accordingly, it is made. It means accordingly how much impressed current will be applying for. So this is the Eob asked one question, the anti-fouling ion, which is preventing the marine growth. That copper ion, which is coming out, that one is preventing the marine growth. It means it does not allow it to marine growth. It means it will be killed actually, the marine growth, and also it will not allow it to stick on the surface. And aluminium, whereas it giving us the anti-corrosion protection on the layer on the surface. So that is the ion, which is copper ion, which is protecting from the marine growth. So if you see this is the copper, which is ion, which is carrying that is transported with the seawater, and that prevents the marine growth. It means it does not allow marine growth, that aquatic life to grow in the system. So they go out from the system, and they will not get accumulated in the system also because of this ion. Like for an example, when you see that freshwater treatment, it has been done already. So we have the Ag ion, which killed actually bacteria, the marine life. So here also the copper ion, copper and silver both does the same thing, but silver is better than the copper. Here we use the copper because it is only for the seawater. So this ion actually, what is it doing? It is killing the aquatic life of marine life. Those can grow and damage our system. It can get choked. So this impressed current, we can adjust how much ion we want to dissolve. Accordingly, impressed current is adjusted. It will vary from system to system. Your ships, you must see the manual, what is the current to be applied, impressed current had to be applied to the system. So that how much, it means impressed current, suppose you increase, what will happen? Your metal dissolve will be high. Your electrode will be wasted faster. So you'll have to change it. So what we do, we adjust such a way so that it is designed such a way how much it will be last for. So that the life of the electrode will be depending on how much current you are applying. So for an example, it is maximum 0.4 amps. It has been applied like that. It means, and this is a different current is applied for aluminum and copper. So, and it is always, it is like copper, it is applied for an example. One of the example I can give you, it is 1.9 amps, it is applied for copper, and maximum that is. And aluminum is 2.1, because aluminum dissolves slower than the copper. And we are protecting, making a layer to protect the anti-corrosion shield we are making by the aluminum hydroxide. Is it clear, this ICCP system? This diagram and all, I'll send it to you. Is it clear or not? How does it work? Here also we are actually using the impressed current, so that the copper and aluminum get dissolved in the electrolyte. What is the electrolyte here? Seawater is the electrolyte. And that gives us the copper ion is protecting from the marine growth, and aluminum hydroxide, we have seen that is protecting from corrosion, internal protection of the seawater system. Any question? Is it clear? Then if any questions, because next chapter I'll be starting, that is the your steering gear. So any question on this chapter? So if no question, then let us start the next chapter. So the steering gear. This is one of the critical equipment on board the ship. So in steering gear, there are some regulation for the steering gear, and it comes under SOLAS regulation. So in SOLAS chapter 2, it is there. So in steering gear, regulation 29, every ship must have main steering gear and one auxiliary steering gear as per the regulation 29. And it has to be satisfied with the administration. What do you mean by the administration? Who is the administration? Tell me. We'll answer to that. Is it clear, my question? My question is, it is written that satisfaction of the administration. Who is the administration? It means steering gear is installed on ship. So who do you think is the administration? Anybody wants to answer? Can you hear my question?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Is a class society?
Tell me.
I think the classification society will be the authority.
Okay. Any other answer? So, okay, let me answer to you. This administration is not the classification society. It is the flag state. So flag state is the administration. Classification society is RO. Classification society has got very big role in shipping industry because the ship is built under classification society rule. But the administration, it means classification society when do the statutory survey, they are the recognized organization by the administration. So it is the flag state which is talking about, because flag state is the member state of the your IMO. Classification society also is linked with IMO, but the administration is the flag state it is. So main steering gear and auxiliary steering gear, it should be arranged such a way so that one suppose fail, other should not affect the other operation. It means suppose main fail, auxiliary, it should not affect the auxiliary. Auxiliary should be in operation. If auxiliary fail, main should not be affected. Main should be in operation. Then the steering components, that is the rudder stock, should be, it means all the steering component, you will be having a steering component. For an example, hydraulic ram will be having, piping system will be having, you'll be having the rudder stock, you'll be tiller arm, then you'll be having the foundation, you'll be having the bearings. So all has to be in sound condition. It means it should be very good condition, it should not fail, because it is a critical item. Because without rudder, ship cannot maneuver, ship cannot change direction. It will move in one direction, it will move. And special consideration it need to take, what are the, there are some component which is not duplicated. For an example, the rudder stock, is it duplicated? No, it is one. It means you can have twin screw, twin rudder, but there is no duplicate. Both you are using actually. So this, and whenever there is no duplicate, then that has to be considered, that it should be special consideration has to be taken. Suppose bearing, if it is not duplicated, carrier bearing, it is not duplicated, then what will happen? So you'll have to use such a bearing. You can use the ball bearing, smaller vessel they use, ball bearing, roller bearing, where the friction is less. And sleeve bearing, we can use the one large vessel we use that if it is a sleeve bearing, then permanent lubrication should be there. Like the large ships, the carrier bearing, there is a lubrication, it is permanent. So it can be oil lubricated, it can be grease lubricated. So it is, these all are the SOLAS requirement. Then what will be the design pressure if we are using hydraulic system? So in that case, the design pressure will be, you have a maximum working pressure it should be 1.25 times of that. So that is the requirement, so that it can withstand much higher pressure than the maximum working pressure. And also there is a 3.2 regulation. This is 2.2. So in that regulation, there is some performance to be performed to satisfy for your steering gear. Like for an example, that how much steering gear will move, port and starboard, how much degree it will move, and for a particular degree to another particular degree to the other side, how much time it will take. So all this comes under 3.2 regulation. It has to comply with. So based on that, the system pressure will decide how much will be the pressure, so that it can move, because you need torque to move it. So another thing, the fatigue, it can, because it is always keep on changing and their pressure is varying, so there will be a fatigue load, and that fatigue should be, criteria should be considered for the design. It should not fail, as we know that fatigue strength is lower than your tensile or compressive strength. So it has to withstand that also. And there will be pulsating pressure forces, dynamic loaded. So all this combination will be having, because rudder will have dynamic load, and then